Arts and Adventure Summit's the airwaves. This is the Ogden Arts and Adventure Show. I'm R. Brian along with
Todd Oberndorfer.
We're your hosts for the greatest arts and adventure podcast in all the land. Would like to welcome our guests. Well, we took some time off. We took about 2 weeks off. I forgot to...
Birthday?
Yeah, we had a birthday. I forgot to schedule a week, and then there was this election thing. And so now we're back. We're back, and we're going to make it fun for going through to the end of the year. And huge announcement. Whoa, I don't even have my thing up. We've got a huge announcement here. Let's do this huge announcement. We have a sponsor of the program tonight, so we'll be sharing that here shortly. Sponsor of the program. Salt and Hops. Yeah, sharing that
very
shortly.
Excited about that.
So our guests here tonight, we do have Britta V or Britta Stump?
Britta Stump.
Okay. Do you ever think about Britta V? Like, is that your...
I could.
Yeah? Okay.
Officer is my maiden name.
Okay. Britta Stump, author, and then is it Qigong? How do you say it?
Qigong.
Chi. I knew. See,
we have so much to learn tonight.
Qigong. And then Sylvana.
Hi,
Sylvana. Sylvana's really nervous, so we're gonna.
And it always helps when you point out how nervous they are. Really,
we're just gonna get it out of the way first. Yeah. So Sylvana has a great place here in the Monarch that not a lot of people know about, and so we want to talk about that. It's called the Ecolocation, and has a bunch of sustainable products there, and
then you brought one of your employees.
And then, yep. Her best employee.
She doesn't pay me much.
I pay him enough.
Very good. So we'll kind of dive into that. So because Sylvana, you're so nervous, do you want to go? You want us to get it over with? Should we dive into the eco place?
No, it's okay.
All right.
No.
Okay. Well, then let's talk about this real quick. Let's grab because I'm gonna have to have something to drink here because Britta's got some cool stuff to talk about with the Qigong here. So this right here, this is a harvest beer.
Am I on?
This is, let's go here. Yep, there.
All right.
So if you turn to the side, this is Chappelle. So Chappelle Unapologetic Ales are out of Salt Lake. And the only way you can get this beer is if you drive your ass to Salt Lake. Or 2 blocks down on 27th Street, they have it at Salt and Hops. So Salt and Hops has, and that's the deal, is Salt and Hops has a whole bunch of these beers that they actually go and literally pick up from these smaller brewers in Utah that don't use someone service provider to ship all this stuff. So they have to go pick it up. Mary at Salt and Hops really likes this brand. And so she sort of picked this one for us. And then I also have some notes here, Todd. So why don't you crack yours open?
And then do we know if we're saying it right? Or
Chappelle.
Yeah, what?
Chappelle, because Chappell's the singer. It's not the singer.
It's not the singer.
It's not the singer, no.
All right, you ready for this?
Chappell. Yeah, let's get it.
Okay, I'm going to try it right now. I know it's impolite to drink in front of others. I apologize for that, but it is very tasty. Oh, look at that. You're joining in if you wish.
Yeah, there we go. So Salt and Hops open 7 days a week. Did you know that? And it is what they're calling it's a beer convenience store. So like boutique beers from across northern Utah, right over there on 27th Street. It's like behind the little furniture store, so you can't see it from Washington. So it's a little hidden. So you got to go up there like a house or whatever, and it's right there.
It's right next to the bookstore.
Right next to the bookstore, specializing in locally brewed craft beer with many selections you can find at the store. Chappelle or Chapel?
Yeah,
Chappelle. Wet Hop is one of these exclusive beers right here. They have NA beers as well as NA liquors. And then they also have craft cocktail mixers and cigars. And they're going to be bringing in some local cigars from Beehive, actually, out of Salt Lake that are... so it's Kendrick.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and he's got his own Apothic cigars, I think is the name of his. And it would be a Utah product. I mean, they don't roll them in Utah, but they'll be... Anyway, but they make them. And then they
Listen,
sell
if we have to try everything there, I'm down. They have some snacks there too.
They have snacks. They got novelties. Anyway, Salt and Hops. Thanks so much. They're paying for this promotion right here, which is fantastic. It's so much money.
Thank you.
Yeah, but it's this is what you get. Anyway, go say hi to them. Go to the store. There's a lot of people who don't know the store is there. It's a cute little store, beer convenience store. Go say hi to them. Tell them Brandon and Todd sent you from the Ogden Arts.
Yep, and just go once and you'll swing by. You like it's very convenient. Too.
Yeah, you'll keep going back. Which
Very
is great.
convenient to park. It's everything about it's great.
All right, so Britta,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts? Oh, you had a thought. I interrupted.
On the salt and hops?
Yeah.
So, funny story. I used to teach in that building where the Happy Magpie is right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I taught belly dance there with the owner of Salt and Hops' wife. Well, I guess they both own that building.
Yeah.
So when I went in just recently to buy gummy bears, they have really good gummy bears at Salt and Hops too.
The things you don't know. Yeah.
I talked to the owner and he's like, "Hey, I remember you." But yeah, they're really awesome, cool, amazing,
Great people.
wonderful, love Ogden people.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so you were a belly dancer? Is this before the Chi?
Yes.
Okay. Belly dancing lead to the Chi?
It's cool. Okay, so I started doing yoga in 1996.
Okay.
I started doing belly dance in 2007, and I started doing Qigong in about, I would say, 2012.
How does one find the Qigong?
Okay, so weirdly, when I was teaching dance, one of the other instructors over here at Eccles Community Arts Center, she wanted to do this thing called Women's Vitality Movement. So
Who was that?
her name was Tamara Anderson.
Okay.
She's since moved. I think she lives in Hawaii now.
Okay.
But I was teaching belly dance, and she was like, "I want you to come in and teach the women the dance movement, and I'm going to teach them this Asian like martial art / meditative yoga form thing called Qigong." And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
And that was my first introduction, and I really, really liked it, and kind of just followed it after that.
So yeah, so what is it? Is it martial arts or is it dance? Like where does it sit?
Okay, so Qigong, its origins are in Taoism, which is, if you go way far back, it's kind of like Chinese shamanism. So like predating China, when they were all like separate little like entities, before they were unified. So
Really got to know your Chinese history.
yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of the movements are based on the shamans, like observing nature. And so like a lot of them are embodying the elements, certain animals. And then this guy named Bodhidharma came from India and met the Taoists at Wudang Mountain. And they kind of like mixed together and had a baby, and it became Qigong.
Okay.
And then out of Qigong came Tai Chi. So that word,
That's what probably most of us are familiar with.
right. I've actually started calling it like Tai Chi healing instead of
Okay.
Qigong, because
Yeah.
people are like, okay, Tai Chi, I get that.
Right.
But Qigong is the more like health cultivation form,
Okay.
whereas Tai Chi was actually developed to be a martial art.
Yes.
So that was more to like defend oneself, and Qigong is like, okay, this is what you need to do to heal.
Okay, but Qigong, you're defending your body.
Yes.
Self-defense.
From pathogens
There you
and
go, yeah.
illness and
Yeah.
all those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. And so it's old.
Very, very old.
So how come, you don't hear a lot about it these days, do you think?
I think maybe because I'm not entirely sure what happened there. I think that when a lot of things changed in China, Tai Chi was kind of more socially acceptable under the new communist regime because it was less spiritual.
Okay.
And so it kind of expanded outside
Yeah.
sooner.
Yeah.
But Qigong is kind of making its way in. And weirdly, like a lot of my teachers are all like in Thailand and Vietnam and stuff like that because they couldn't continue to teach
They couldn't
the
practice
way.
in China.
Yeah.
Okay. So have you visited some of these teachers?
I have not.
Is this
all
like
of
online
all of my
study, or-
teachers are pale faces of.
Okay.
But so my teacher, Nick Lawfrey, his teacher is Lee Holden, who is kind of one of the first people to bring it here to the States. And then his teacher is Mantak Chia, who is Chinese, but he lives in Thailand. Like his family had to leave when they were doing the purges and whatnot.
Okay.
So through a series of teachers, I can kind of get back to the source.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, is it like a yoga where you could just keep getting better at it and better at it? And
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. You can never get to the end of it. There's
Okay.
so many forms. So weirdly, like a lot of people, I think there's something like 24 different Tai Chi forms. There's 3,000 different Qigong forms.
Oh, yeah.
And like each school in China kind of has its own thing that it's like really good at. So like another school I'm studying with right now is White Tiger Qigong. And he had to go and like seek out these people. They were not like trying to sell it, you know?
Yeah.
And he had to do like years of like, please, like I'm worthy, you know? And so they taught him their knowledge, but they gave him the weirdest mandate. They were like, you cannot show your face. Like if you share this with other people, you can't show your face because it has to not be about you. It has to just be about the form.
Okay.
So every time you see Tevye Fang, he has one of those like cone hats that they wear in China, the straw hats.
Yeah.
And he covers his face so
Okay.
you won't
Yeah.
see him.
Okay.
It's just kind of fascinating.
Todd, have you heard of this at all?
I haven't, but I do, I do relate a little bit because I know every time, on our YouTube and stuff, my face is blurred. So it's part of the arrangement.
I didn't think you were going to see that, dude. I just,
That's why when we were audio only, it worked just fine. But Brandon's like, we're going to introduce video. And I said, you can't show my face.
Can't show the face. Yeah. So we just make the beard go the whole face. Full beard.
It's frightening. It's frightening. All right. So I got a quick couple of questions for you. The first one is what brought you to yoga in 96? So what in your life, it's usually something.
I have such a strange history. And a lot of it is in my book, by the way. Just,
Oh,
that's a nice
knows
plug.
how to plug. Yeah, there
That's
we go.
perfect.
Just a little plug now. It's funny. I published this exactly 1 year ago yesterday.
Oh, congratulations.
Oh,
So that's
why we
funny.
planned it for tonight.
Yeah,
So,
it
that's-
just
yeah.
coincidentally, but I was kind of a weird kid. Like me and Brandon were having an aside before we came on here. I did not fit in with the predominant.
I've known you for
culture.
20 minutes. I believe it 100%.
Yeah, I was very different. I did not fit in with the majority here. So I had a lot of also reject friends, I guess, growing up in high school. And one of my very best friends, Christy, her father had moved here from Florida.
God, I just thought you were going to call her Christy the Reject. And
No.
it was like, we've gone too far.
Her dad
Yeah.
was a Hare Krishna devotee.
Oh, okay.
So there's that Krishna temple down in Spanish Fork, Utah here,
Okay.
which is amazing. If you've never been, you really should check it out, where
Yeah.
they do the color festival and stuff every year. So I started going with Christy when I was like 16 down there, and I thought it was cool because I'm very like anything fringe.
New and fun.
Give me
and
more of
different.
that,
Yeah.
you know? And they would do a lot of yoga there at the temple. And I was like, hey, this is cool, you know? And I was a very like stuck in my head kind of person all the time when I was younger, very manic. And just those body movements really kind of helped me, I don't know, fix myself, I guess.
Well, is that because you're in the moment? You're focused on in the moment, and so your brain can't go to all the places. 'Cause
Yeah, when you're forcing your body to do really weird things, your overthinking brain turns off.
do you know if that's true, Todd?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
It's true. It's like listening to this show. Your brain just turns off. I mean, not, of course, this
Not this
particular
particular
interview,
part.
though.
Yes, just in general.
Just
Yeah.
when Brandon and I are talking.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
basically what
it's
I'm
so
saying.
funny.
Yeah. So it started casually. Did it build momentum? Did you get better? Did it become part of your
Yeah,
life?
and when do you turn pro? Like, can you get a pro card? Like, how does this work?
So I certified in teaching yoga in like 2010 at this cool little place that was over here on Washington called Borrowed Earth Emporium. Do you
I
guys
remember that. Yeah.
With Lena.
Yep.
She
Lena, yep.
That place was so cool. So I did the yoga teacher certification program then, and then got really distracted with dance. And then we moved away for a while. So you've had my husband on your show before,
Yep.
Adrian, and we moved to Oregon, and I just kind of really doubled down on the Qigong thing because it felt good, and it really helped me deal with like a lot of stuff that was going on at the time. So
Yeah, and like how many? Because a lot of people do yoga. So
Yeah.
how many people doing the Qigong thing?
hardly anyone at all.
Really? Okay.
I actually have quite a few like very consistent students, but
Oh, you're teaching.
Yeah, I do teach.
Okay.
I teach here at the Heart Center, which is over here on 24th. And then in February, I'm going to start teaching out west where I live, kind of in West Weber, which is still an unincorporated community of Ogden. Like my postal
Represent.
My
Yeah.
postal code still says Ogden.
That's great.
But I always have to be like, well, do you know what Tai Chi is? It's kind of like Tai Chi.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then a lot of it is a lot like yoga. And I've been teaching like Taoist yoga, which is kind of like the yoga Qigong blend a lot more because the yoga people seem to like that. And it's close enough to what they know that they're not super uncomfortable about it.
Yeah.
But then I'm kind of putting some of the Qigong stuff in and they're like, oh, this is cool. Like, let's try some more of that. So,
You are making up your own modality.
kind of, yeah.
A little bit.
I taught actually here in the Monarch a little bit ago with Goal Foundation. They do such cool things. Really like them. And that was fun because it was all yoga folk, you know. And I start saying, hey, have you guys heard of Qigong? Hey, have you heard of Taoist yoga? And they're like, huh?
So
What have you tricked me into? But by the end, they really liked it.
How? Because yoga is also healing, right? And so,
Yes.
what's the bigger difference between those two?
That's a good question. Let me think about that. Well, okay, so I would say like Taoism in general is very like nature centric, whereas the whole goal of yoga is kind of like to transcend oneself. So the main goal of yoga,
For me, it's just to touch my toes.
right?
So,
I mean,
yeah.
most Americans know it as just stretches,
Right.
right? But like the yoga philosophy is like you're doing all these movements so that you can like get out of yourself enough to have union, which is what yoga means, with a higher power. So, but Taoism is more like we want to get in tune with this world and we want to be in flow with nature. And so I think there's a lot more embodying of the elements and animals and stuff like that in Qigong than there is in yoga, even though a lot of the yoga poses have like names for animals. Because I think yoga kind of came from the same sort of
I think
place.
they stole it. Let's be real.
It could
Yeah.
be. And it's funny because both sides, like the yoga people and the Qigong people, will be like, ours is older and we were the original. And, you know, it's funny.
Well, is it emotional? Because stuff, when you do practice deep work like that, sometimes you can break down and
Yes.
let loose
I've
some
seen it
emotions.
happen.
Yeah.
But it's so here's another funny thing. If we're just taking it down to the actual movements, a lot of the yoga stuff is you go into a pose and you kind of hold it, and then you move it into the next pose and you hold it. And Qigong is more like flow. Like,
Is there a way to
never
demonstrate while sitting, or
while sitting? Not so much.
well,
But
you can
like-
stand and do a little demonstration.
So for instance, like if I were going to teach like seniors who can't move, like if somebody's like
Britta, for instance.
Like me.
bound to a chair,
Yeah.
you might do something to open up your lung meridians. So you would inhale up, and then you'd reach to the sky, and then you would come back down, flip your hands, and down. And another thing that happens a lot with Qigong that's a little bit different than yoga is you might sit and do this lung form like 20 times. Versus like, okay, I did Warrior 2, now next thing, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's all about like retraining energy patterns that you hold in your body. So I have a desk job, and if I sit at my desk job all day like this, so what's happening is everything's concaving here, and my lungs aren't getting very much oxygen, and all of my internal organs are getting squashed.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to start like retraining my body to like hold itself the way it's supposed to hold, you kind of have to do that for a while, you know?
Yeah.
But it's so weird. Like we could do the simplest thing like this, like 5 times, and I've watched people
You work
be
for
like,
hours slumped over.
Yeah, right.
So-
So you hold that pose, that asana, as they refer to it in
Yeah.
yoga, for what, 8 hours a day? It's going to take a minute to fix it, you know?
Sure, yeah.
So, and I've watched like people very often will sit and do this for a few minutes, and they're like, "My God, I can't believe how much better I feel." It's like, see, it's movement medicine.
Yeah, you're just trying to movement medicine. I like that, movement medicine. Sylvana, are you interested? You down? You want to do a little qigong here?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
She didn't even have to think about it.
Just like that. Yeah.
Yes.
I love it. Well, how do you approach beginners and getting people into this type of modality?
Well, I start off. So one of the first things that my teacher says is really good to teach people is the 5 elements. So there's a movement for each of the 5. There's 5 elements in the Chinese.
And this isn't like water, fire.
It's kind of similar to ours.
Okay.
So they have water, earth,
Oh, I was on a track.
fire.
Yeah.
But then they also have wood, which is
Yep.
different than ours, and metal.
Okay.
So, and then they each correlate to like body parts, like organs and stuff.
Oh, what's metal?
Metal is your lungs.
Huh.
So metal is the element that creates boundaries and defends. So your lungs are your first line of defense against pathogens.
Mm-hmm.
So you want those strong.
I actually thought it was my nose hairs, but okay.
That too.
Okay.
Take yours in particular. Yes.
Mine in particular. Yeah.
So when they're referring to metal, it's kind of like a sword. It's like the sword of discernment that's going to slice away stuff you don't need and then cultivate the things you do need.
That's what my nose hairs are doing, by the way.
They're
just,
cultivating
they're
what you need.
slicing.
Yeah.
Yeah, just so you know.
Yeah.
Big picture.
Big picture, yeah. That's very interesting to me.
I love
That
that.
is crazy. And then over the years, how has it made you feel? Like, I mean, obviously you enjoy it. You feel healthier and how?
So much better.
Yeah.
I mean, I think part of the reason that I really started getting heavy in Qigong is I was having a lot of health problems. Like
So
a
it's got to
lot of
work
health
or else you don't stick with it.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, yeah, hands down, way better than the doctor.
100%. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it takes a while. Like, it's like,
Well, preventative medicine is the best medicine. So,
Right.
And how long each do you practice daily, I guess?
every day.
And how long each day?
I mean, you don't have to every day, and you could do 10 to 15 minutes and be fine. I try to go for 40 to 60 minutes a day if I'm lucky enough to carve out that time.
And is that, I don't know if you call it exercise, but do you add exercise or anything on top of that, or is that pretty much what your
Not really. That's
your
about
health
it.
thing is? Yeah, that's
I
it?
mean, that and going for walks and hikes and, playing in nature.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Super interesting. And so, yeah, where can we learn more, I guess?
Well, I teach over at the Heart Center on 24th Street on Thursdays.
We just show up?
Yeah, you can just show up.
Yeah.
I'm going to start teaching out.
And you can show up as a beginner, I'm assuming, and just
Yeah.
kind of hang out. And,
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
You're not like, chi shaming,
No.
qigong shaming.
No,
the
because
newbies,
there's
like
levels.
Yeah.
I always show, okay, you can do it like this. And if you feel like you're comfortable, then you can do it like this.
And that's
you can do it like
I have a hard
that.
time with yoga because I suck so bad. So that's, this might be more my speed is all I'm saying.
Well, and there are some really cool looking Qigong forms that
Yeah.
I like to bust out when I'm trying to show off. But
Yeah, how much of the martial arts is involved? Because I dig me some good martial arts stuff.
yeah, there's certain movements that went right into like blocks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And my son was taking a Taekwondo class, and he's like, "Hey, we do this," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's a Qigong move,"
Mm-hmm.
that got developed to be more fierce. But I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And weirdly, like one of the things, I really wish that I would have found this before I was a dancer, because I think it would have been so much better, because it helps you get your center and like really strong in your roots and your base. Like it's just good.
But belly dancing is no joke as far as that goes, right?
Yeah. I mean, you kind of have to get, I like all these really earthy things if you can't tell.
Yeah.
But you have to get kind of grounded in order to like do that. But
Yeah.
it's very difficult for my son to like knock me over when we're wrestling, because I'm like really strong in my core now
Yeah.
from
No,
doing
that's
all
great.
the Qigong. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Got anything else, Todd?
I love it. And what's the name of the place you're going to be teaching out west?
It's called Heritage Hall.
Heritage Hall. So we'll
Yeah.
have to look that up and find out. When are you going to be teaching out there? Which days?
I think I'm going to start in February on Wednesdays
Okay.
at 7. So everybody that's out in Plain City and West Haven and West Weaver and all those areas that like doesn't necessarily want to drive all the way into town at 7 o'clock, I'm going to give you an option out there.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I love that. Well, good luck. Thank you for
Thank
teaching
you.
us so much.
Yeah.
We'll have to have you back when it's just exclusively. Maybe we'll do it outside in the space, and we'll go through some moves too.
Okay, cool.
I think that would be fun.
And then show your book again. And where can we get the book?
So you can get this in person over at Happy Magpie, where
we
you
go.
go
There we
get
go.
your beer.
Yep.
So
Yep.
stop and get a book and a beer. So that's two
and
of
a beer.
the major food groups, you know. And this is over there. You can get it online.
This is good beer, by the way.
Yeah.
What do you think, Todd?
It's really good.
It's really good, huh?
Yeah. Nice recommendation.
Yep. So this is all just poetry.
Oh, I love that.
So if you're not into poems, then, you know, you'd rather read fiction or...
Oh, you're the opposite of your husband.
Yeah. Which weirdly we met over... This is so stupid.
Yeah, well, then obviously we want to hear about that.
We
Obviously.
we used to work together at a
I'm a better writer. No, I
call
am.
center. We used to work together at a call center, right?
Oh, wow.
Long
The
time
place
ago.
where inspiration goes to die.
Right.
I was not expecting that. Yeah.
So, in order to like deal with the mind-numbing, soul-crushingness of this job, I would bring my little like composition notebooks and be like filling them up like the whole time.
I've never worked at one. Todd, did you ever work at one?
They're
I worked
terrible.
for one for less than one day.
Did you walk out halfway?
I didn't. I can't remember if I quit halfway through. I panicked. I mean, you're just never really ready to be on the
Really?
phone with a human, not be equipped with what to say other than a script that's in front of you.
Yeah.
And panicking, not having an answer, and then just hanging up. and apparently those that listen in on these, these calls, they
Yeah.
don't like it when you do that.
You just hang up. Yeah.
And so I think that it just wasn't to match.
It didn't.
It's just money. But I'm telling myself, money. It's money. I need money.
Yeah,
So it's just
but
money,
no,
money,
you
money.
can't do that.
And then it's, boy, it did not click. But it's a good place to meet.
significant other.
I
I guess. I don't know. Well,
I met no one.
we worked at this place that
God.
was a directory assistance place. So like 411, way back in the day, right?
Yeah.
So when you needed like a phone number or an address
Yeah.
or something, you call 411 and we'd be like, okay, what are you after? What city and state? You put
Yeah.
it in the computer anyway.
That might be a little more interesting.
Well, you didn't have
Yeah.
to talk to anyone
Yeah.
for very long, so that made it bearable, you know?
Yeah.
And you had a task to look up or something. So
So anyway, I was this really strange person, 19 years old, and I'm sitting there writing like little scribbles in my composition notebook, and I noticed this really strange character who also got a job there, who also had a composition notebook.
Let's go.
And he'd be over
Yeah.
there like writing his own stuff, and one day I came up to him and I'm like, hey, I noticed you have a notebook. I have a notebook too. We should hang out.
That's one of the better pickup lines I've heard. So,
The rest, as they say, is
oh,
history.
yeah.
it kind of puts a tear right here. It's like a Hallmark movie.
What kind of notebook you got over there?
You write, I write.
We should hang out. Yeah.
We should hang out.
Oh, I love that.
God, that is great. And
Yeah.
then he ended up writing a poetry book and
Yeah,
his
well,
novel.
and he was writing poems back then too. But then he got really into fiction. So, and I still just write my little observances of awe, I guess.
Oh, I like that. Britta, that's wonderful. Good stuff. If you're interested in learning more about Qigong, go visit you. It's free. There's no website or anything.
Actually, oh, yeah. Well, okay. So if you're a Facebook person, you can just put in like Taoist Yoga Utah and it'll come up. And
okay.
Taoist is spelled Taoist.
Obviously.
Yeah, it's all weird and doesn't make sense. I've sometimes seen it spelled with a D, but my teachers spell it with a T. So that's the way I do it.
I think that's the right way.
I think it's the right way.
Like
yeah.
Taoist.
Yeah.
Taoist. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's how it goes.
Yep.
Oh, very good. Thanks so much for spending some time with us here. Sylvana has a lot of questions for you, I think. Go ahead, fire away.
Well,
Well,
yeah.
you do need the microphone there so we can hear
I
those
don't have any
questions. Okay. Oh, no question. No
Oh,
question.
but you will.
Yeah, you will.
Wants to know
On
where to sign
Thursday,
up.
what?
Yeah.
Thursday at 6, and then out west it's going to be Wednesdays at 7, starting in February.
Do we need to bring a yoga mat?
Oh, great question.
Honestly, I don't know if you need one out out west. I forgot to ask her if she has yoga mats or not. So just to be safe, yeah, maybe. Over here at the Heart Center, no, they have plenty. So
Okay, thank you.
Wait, time out. You can just like use somebody else's yoga mat?
yeah. I mean, they
Wash
clean
it
them
down.
after.
Oh.
If you're germaphobe, you might want to bring your own. But
Speaking of,
I breathed really nervously.
reusable stuff. Okay, so yeah, you've got to be able to talk onto the mic there, Sylvana. So the name of the little shop here in the Monarch building is called the Eco Location. But I want to know, Sylvana, how did you get involved with wanting to save the planet, essentially?
Well,
I mean, a lot of us think about like that's probably a good idea. We should probably do that. But then, I mean, you took it obviously the next step, and then further to have like this little store inside the Monarch building.
well, I got scared.
Yeah?
Like listening to the news, watching the news,
Yeah.
hearing all these catastrophic things
Yeah.
happening, and we're having kids while all this is happening, and I'm
Yeah.
getting super worried for the future for them, because I don't know how I'm gonna be able to protect them in the future, and I would like for them to live in a world that's pretty like
Not
a
dying.
world that has a real future.
not
Yeah.
dying, definitely not dying, like
Yeah.
we're not swimming in plastic or
100%.
Thriving.
Yeah.
We like
I mean,
thriving.
as the boys here know, we all have some in our balls now, so there's that.
Yes,
Yeah.
you guys do.
Yeah, I appreciate knowing that fact. That's fantastic. And so, how do you counter that? Like, what is the idea behind the shop, the Eco Location here in the Monarch building?
Okay, so
Oh.
I'm gonna reduce that even
Reduce it.
further
Thank you.
to a 1 minute, and this could be a joint answer. Maybe a 1 minute like elevator pitch of what you do, and if it needs to go over 1 minute, that's fine. Give me a little bio of what it is that you do for your store.
Okay, so our bio. So what we focus on is we're getting reusable, sustainable products, anything that we can use to replace single-use products. We look for things that are compostable, organic, sustainably sourced, ethically sourced. But the main factors that we're looking at are, is it good for our customers and is it good for the planet? The other aspect that we're looking at is it's really important to us that it's accessible. We don't feel like this is something that should be exclusive to people who make more income than we do.
Okay, so yeah, accessible financially.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we counter that by some of the items that we can't afford to buy, we're going to make. But we're looking at, the highest quality products we can bring in at a price that everybody can afford. Yeah.
Well, that can't be easy to do, right? Because it's.
Oh, no, we're broke.
Yeah, we're poor.
But that's part of it is trying to solve that equation there, right? To try to make those things and then sell it, which can't be easy.
No, it's not always easy. I think looking forward to the future as we expand, it becomes a lot easier. Some of these products are harder to find in small quantities.
Yeah.
And especially, we don't want to be changing our prices every time we get a little bit bigger. We can drop the price a little bit more. We're kind of looking at what can we charge now that we can keep charging. And so our margins are pretty low right now, but the idea is that later on we can start buying in bulk
Sure.
and kind of reinvest that back into the business.
Oh, that makes sense. And go ahead. You had it. It was right there.
It'll come-
She was
it'll come back to you. Trust me, yeah.
But you did bring some products. So let's chat about some of the
Yeah,
items you
and
brought.
how did you? This is before you opened your store. How did you start to, create this list of what you might be selling?
Oh, good. Yeah, that's a good question.
I don't really know. We just kind of had this idea, and then so this idea I've been babying for the last 5 years, And I had approached him 5 years ago, and I was like, hey, I would like to open up a refillery.
A refillery.
Yeah,
That's a good name.
refillery.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is what we would have. And Dave was like, well, I don't know if that's a good thing right now. Let's like talk about it at a later time. And then at the beginning of this year, I approached him again, and I was like, hey, I would really like to open this refillery.
Emphasize really.
I would really like to do it. And he was like, sure, let's do it. And
Yeah.
then like I
Look at
think,
Dave's support, man, right there.
I
Yeah.
know. And then like weeks later, I had like a list of everything that I want, because, we shop a lot at like the bulk stores like Winco.
Yeah.
And it would be really nice to have like the shampoos and the conditioners.
Yeah.
and stuff.
So I've been to the, I mean, it's right here in the Monarch building, but please explain to everyone who's listening what like a refillable station is. Like it's pretty sweet, actually.
Yeah. So we have a ton of gallon jars on a little table, and you just come in and you bring in, you can either buy our jars. We also have like a library of free containers, or you can bring in your own containers from home. And you just come in, you weigh your jars, and like we tear.
This is a terrible example, but it's like when you go to the dump, you got pre-weigh, and then you weigh on the way out, and then they
Yeah.
charge you. But that's like the similar way to charge.
Yeah,
right? Like,
exactly.
Yeah, okay.
So you just fill the jar with however much product you want, and then you just pay for it. So you don't have to
Awesome.
fill up the entire bottle. You could just take like a little sample.
Sure. Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So, and we also offer little small, little 4-ounce jars for people who just want to try, because a lot of people are a little hesitant, on trying plant-based products. Is it going to clean well enough? Is it going to is it going to ruin my hair, or is it going to how is it going to affect my skin? I have really sensitive skin. And those kind of things we run into a lot. And, our whole family has like skin conditions. Like our kids and Dave have eczema. I have like a skin problem. So like anything that's artificial, like artificial fragrances, like a lot of chemicals, just kind of like makes our skin just like really
Very irritating.
awful. Yeah, irritating.
Oh, it's terrible.
So we try to make sure that we're using like really high quality, like, or non-scented kind
Yeah.
of soaps and stuff. Nothing that's going to make our skin kind of like freak out, because it's awful.
Yeah.
So that's kind of also like why we wanted to sell this also, because if we're having this problem, there's probably going to be a lot of people out there who are also experiencing
there
the
are.
same issues.
And what are some of the items that you can refill?
So we have dish soaps, we have hand soaps, we have shampoo, conditioner, we have laundry detergents, we have powder and liquid, and we also have Castile soap, which is our house-made Castile soap, and it's similar to Dr. Bronner's. And then we have pet shampoo, and we have
Oh man,
face
the pets are
wash.
where it's at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have some shampoo bars coming in, hopefully next week. So
That's so cool.
We make a point of doing our house blends. We try to make them like the cheaper option. Like it's still the high quality ingredients, but we
Yeah.
can offer them at a better price since our labor's free basically.
Yeah, but how did you figure out how to make all this stuff? That's great.
Google's amazing.
Google, yeah.
Google, and then
Yeah.
also trial and error. We have, so I think it was a couple of months ago, we tried making some shave soap, and we had it here, and it was like drying, and everybody was really excited about it. And then we tried it, and it sucked. Like it was the worst.
Yeah.
And we're like, holy crap, we cannot sell this.
Right.
This is garbage. Like,
Right.
let's throw it away.
Yeah.
Let's. This is embarrassing.
I have like a year's supply of goat milk soap because we can't sell it.
Really?
But I'm not going to waste it. I'm just going to keep using it.
Yeah, but what? How come? Why can't you sell it? What's wrong with it? It's just not.
I'm not good at scenting things.
Oh, scenting. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I tried using some essential oils to scent it, and it did not turn out.
You know what though? Somebody's going to listen to this, or somebody's going to come into your store, and you're going to connect in some way, and they're going to have some thought on what you can do with a year's worth of goat milk product.
God, I hope so. Yeah.
But I foresee that happening. But I do love that you personally test everything. You use yourself as guinea pigs. It's always, I mean, that's a first place to trust, you know. I love that.
This is a whole
This is exciting.
psychological, like to change habits and to change patterns is really difficult to do because people are like, I'm out of deodorant, I'm out of shampoo, I just go to the store or whatever. So to get people to come here to the Monarch building to come find your shop. How do we do that? How do we get people to sort of think about, let's go to the eco location and do a refill instead?
It's been really hard, honestly, to bring people in here. I think what helped us a lot was doing the fall market. Because we've been told a lot that what we're doing is inconvenient, because people don't want to bring jars. They don't want to walk, down and then fill their jars. And then they just want like something that's really super easy, just quick,
It's a little inconvenient when the earth ends.
Right? Exactly. So, we got into the fall market and we were there every Saturday for like 5 weeks. And then we became convenient to people.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We started having like the same customers come in, stop by and like buy some things. They brought friends with them.
Yep.
And then they just started coming in here. And it's not like we have a bunch of people coming because you don't need to like refill on shampoos and like soaps
Like
and stuff
once
like
a month or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't have like a lot of customers, but when they do come, like they do
Stock up.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
stock up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it's nice.
Yeah.
So in I don't know.
Plus, your season's coming up. It's
Yeah, it's a Christmas
the holidays
season.
are coming up. It makes a perfect gift.
Refill for a loved one.
Oh, 100%. Plus the idea of creating something. I mean, the fact that you're filling this up by hand, you're using either your own jar or one of your jars that you sell, and maybe you throw a ribbon on it or you decorate it somehow, or it's just something special about creating this together with what the two of you are doing.
I think you
it's
should show off
fantastic.
some of your stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yes,
You got a
please.
basket there of goods, a basket of goods. And so the shop is really nice because there's, it's not just refill. You do have stuff that you sell.
Yeah. So we have these reusable fabric towels that replace paper towels. And you just use them like regular paper towels. Whenever you have a spill, you just kind of,
Yeah, they got a roll on them and everything, and you can just wash them with the rest of your laundry. There's nothing special.
Oh, that's
about it.
nice.
But since they're 100% cotton, including the thread, they're compostable.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of their life, if they start to wear out, you can cut them up, and cotton will compost in your compost pile in 9 months.
Okay, this is amazing, first of all. So, because you don't really think about it, when you have like 100% cotton tee, is that like the same thing, or like what's the difference?
Pretty
Yeah?
much.
Okay.
Some of them are treated with some stuff.
Oh,
but
like ink
it
dyes
just,
or something.
It just makes it take a little bit longer. It's still
Gotcha.
compostable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Because we also have our snack bags that have like a laminated cotton, and it's laminated with water-based polyurethane, so it's food safe. It still has like a little bit of that polyurethane, but it's also like it will compost, it will biodegrade, and this replaces just like the Ziploc bags, and it has the Velcro, and the Velcro is it's made out of recycled like the polyester, and that's 100% cotton. So that's kind of, and we send our kids to school with these bags, and we love them. I mean, we don't have to buy Ziploc bags anymore, and that's great.
That is
we
so
actually-
cool.
We haven't bought them
It's
for
great.
months now, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did see this meme where it was like there were dinosaurs. It's like what guys think about when we're sleeping. There's dinosaurs, and then they died, and then they turned into like oil or whatever, and then the oil turns into plastics, and then the plastics come back as these plastic dinosaurs. And so really the plastic dinosaurs are actually real dinosaurs because they're made from the real dinosaurs.
This is what you think about Brandon.
I've never thought about that.
I have
but
never thought about it
I
either,
now
but
love
now.
those dinosaur toys.
You're right.
That's funny.
Shoot. Yeah.
Well, I love the idea of your paper towels, the kind of the version.
Those are great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
I
also
just love that
makes,
you can
like-
wash them. That's fantastic.
Yeah, she makes Kleenexes. She does face wipes, so people can use it to like cleanse their face or use toner, things like that, clean makeup.
Yeah, so if you have sensitivities, this is the way to go.
Yeah, and the Kleenexes are really nice, especially for the little kids, because it doesn't like irritate when you're constantly wiping. And we use it, and I love it, and it doesn't. It's not harsh like the tissue. And then we also carry like these lavender sachets. And we bought the lavender from somebody local in Roy, and these are just replacements for like the dry, like the
You can use them as, like, instead of a dryer sheet. You can throw them in with your laundry and add like a nice lavender.
Oh, I like that.
scent.
I like the sound of that.
I'll be honest,
Or you
we're
just
coming
drop
into
it in
winter
the oil.
season, and
Yeah.
we're going to have a lot of like snowboarders and skiers and people that come straight off the mountain and into this trailer space, and this trailer stinks to high heaven.
Oh,
We need some of
How
these
dare
bags.
they?
I want to hide the. I want to hide these in every corner
do it.
because we're coming into stinky
do you have
season.
to activate those? Like, do they have to be heated or?
I
do
think
they
if you
smell
just
good?
sort of
Like
It's just
rub it?
dried
Yeah.
lavender. She
roll
just
it around
grows
in
this
your
her
hand, it kind of
garden.
opens things up a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, it smells good. Oh, we need
smells
some of these
fantastic.
for sure.
That's great.
Yeah, we definitely need some of these for the trailer.
And then
Oh
we
my God, that's
also-
strong.
yeah. And we
Oh,
have it
that's
in
way
bulk
good.
too, so we can
Yeah.
refill these little bags.
We got a whole jar. It's
Yeah.
I just walk around the place like,
Oh man, that smells so good. Okay.
And then we carry wool balls, and I felt some. I don't have any ones that I felted. But we do have the wool balls. We also have like our plant-based dishwashing soap, our
Liquid
rustic
soap.
strength liquid soap. This,
Now, okay, so you got to make a basket for like the holidays.
Yeah.
Because this is a great gift.
it's in the works.
It's in the works.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, good.
I love this idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, gift baskets are the best.
And we have
There's the face.
oh, here's the
wipes.
face wipes. And then we have the little dish scrubby brushes, and they're made with plant-based and bamboo, so this will compost at the end of its life.
Awesome.
So you don't have to worry about it making its way to the landfill and staying there. And then
You know, that's one of the questions that I've asked myself as like just a human living in modern age. It's like whenever you go to the dump and you're like, people, like it's lined up like day after day. Like, where the hell does all this stuff go? That's so much trash.
Yeah.
Like, what's going to happen to all this stuff?
Yeah, it's going to be another ski resort mountain. That's the direction it's
God,
going
it's
right
so
now. Yeah.
terrible. Yeah.
So the dump in Layton, they have a thrift store. I don't know if you guys know that, but they actually will go through our trash
You're
that we
kidding.
dump.
I had no idea.
Yeah, and they will collect what they feel like still has a life, and
Yeah.
they will put it in their thrift store. And
Oh, I love
it
that.
has like the coolest stuff in there. And you access it just kind of by going in there, and like as you're leaving, there's
It's right by the entrance.
yeah.
So I had a friend who worked at the landfill over here.
Yeah. In
His-
Ogden?
Yeah. His living room was full of like the coolest stuff. There was just stuff
Yeah.
people had thrown
Yeah.
away. I'm like, where did you get this? I'm like, somebody threw it away.
I mean, I'll
Really?
admit it. I've taken stuff to the dump where I'm like, I have no use for it, but somebody might, I don't know, but I cannot keep this around here anymore. You just take it to the dump, and then someone else is like, hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Upcycle.
Upcycle. Yeah.
Yeah, I will say another good alternative. She's just found these Facebook groups that's just nothing but free. And so you're not allowed to sell on these groups. It's like Facebook Marketplace, but all it is just I have something useful.
Trade.
Who wants it? And people just grab it. You don't sell, you don't trade. It's just
Oh, you don't
giving
trade either.
things away that you don't have it. You don't have a need for anymore.
Well, I
There's
like
just
that.
whole groups on there. Like there's one for each city.
I like that because there's, people often when we were swapping over to the like newer, nicer televisions that don't weigh anything, about 10 years ago.
When they got a little thinner.
When they got a little thinner, everyone just put these giant ass heavy televisions on the curb.
Yeah,
and
that's
put free.
1/4 of landfills.
Yeah,
Our old television sets.
totally. They were
Yeah.
so heavy. Oh my god! And then you just put them on the curb. You're like free, and then everyone's like, I can't pick that up. Like, how am I going to take that?
That's like 1/4 of like all hernias I think were caused by.
Like those TVs.
Oh my
They were
god!
so heavy.
It's one of the best things we did as a society. Get rid of those 300-pound
Oh
televisions,
god, those were heavy.
6 feet deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, you don't have to place stuff on the curb. You can just go to like one of these Facebook sites and do free and say,
I
I
love
have
that
this. Yeah.
All right, so gift baskets for sure.
Yes.
Super getting excited about that. But I think that you just need to come in once.
Yeah.
Come in once to the shop, eco location here in the Monarch building, and now do you have an online presence?
So I didn't really want to sell online. I wanted to keep it local and just
Okay.
kind of keep it like cheap that way. But I'm being told a lot that it's important that I do have an online presence for those who do want to shop online.
When you're ready, yeah, that's the answer.
Yeah.
Like
so,
it is also. Okay.
I think a little Shopify store is money.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So we do have a Shopify store,
Oh.
and did.
Oh, for on the retail side?
Yeah. So, but I did. I think I got it published. I think it's like $16 a month, so people can access our website, and they could shop on there. But we don't have a lot of our products on there because it's not something that like we were kind of prepared to do. I was just. I only got it because I was trying to do this like big donation thing. I wanted to send soap. Like I wanted to make soap to donate to OCAP. So they can have their own refill soap that they can use for their customers. But that's the only reason why I published the website. And then
turns out like 5 years from now, all your sales are on your website.
I know everyone's gonna be like, this store sucks.
Well, but Shopify is great. I mean, it's a great tool and it can help you make some money if but there is the whole. You have to travel. You have to travel to come here, and if you're shipping it, there's travel. So I mean, there's that side of things, but at least you're buying stuff that's good for you in the end.
And another cool thing is, so Jessica with the little homestead, we bought a trailer from her, a little vintage trailer, and
nice.
we're gonna fix that up to be like a.
Is that the one they used?
That they were kind of fixing up. Yeah. So we bought it and we're going to fix it up, and that's going to be kind of like our little.
We know something about trailers.
Yeah. Well, we may contact you guys when it's time and you can help.
So I first see you guys doing something kind of like a food truck, but with like refillables.
Exactly.
That
That's
would be
exactly
super cool.
it. Yeah.
Because you go to where the people are that way.
Yeah. We could. It could be the eco location anywhere.
Yep.
Anywhere. So and then we'll.
What
be
a
little
great
bit more
name
convenient.
for your company.
That
Yeah.
nailed it.
Who came up with the name?
So, oh my gosh. So our kids love bats. And there's this song that their preschool teacher played for them.
Echolocation.
Yeah.
The echolocation. And so when my husband and I were talking about like our business names, my son was like, what about the echolocation? And then they started singing the song, but like instead of saying the echolocation, they were saying echolocation.
Brilliant. Love it.
And that's how it started.
So it's a brilliant name. You already have a song, an official song for your business.
We're set. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, everyone should come down to the Monarch building. And what are your hours, I guess?
So right now we are 9 to 4, Monday through Thursday. And then we are appointment only Friday through Sunday in the evening. But I mean, I know that our hours are kind of like crazy. So if you reach out to us on Instagram, then we can always schedule like an appointment, and there's no fee for that. There's no like appointment.
Echolocation on Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay. Love it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thanks so much.
We wish you all the luck. This was such a great idea. I think that the Monarch is a nice space for this.
Yeah.
You're adding some really good energy to the space as well, which we appreciate.
I hope so. Thank you.
And I'm going to think of the two of you anytime we ever throw anything away.
Please do.
Oh, Todd, you and I know a guy.
I just so happen to live with somebody who is also related to Brandon. I'll bet over the course of 1 year, we've thrown away one full-size garbage bag full of trash. And I'm not even joking you.
Amazing. Amazing.
It's it can happen, and it just really is part of your habits. You just have to change those habits. And I fought it a little bit, and I still do when it comes to certain things. It's just kind of hard to break through, but the more that you can integrate, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
And if you ever want to proof of that, just like you said, go to a landfill, and it's so sad.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Todd, what do you got? Anything going on?
I have two exhibitions that are closing on this Friday, which is November 15th, which is also Salt Lake City's Gallery Stroll Night. So swing by Finch Lane Gallery, 54 Finch Lane, Salt Lake City, Utah, just below the University of Utah, 6 to 9 o'clock. And then next week will be Install Week, and November 22nd, brand new exhibitions will be opening up. And so it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. It just keeps going. I get 6 weeks of peace, and then the next one starts again.
It's like a job. You're always
like
busy.
A job. But if you do want to check out the current exhibitions, you can look up Salt Lake City Arts Council. We have a great website. Everything is on there. And if you don't follow Salt Lake City Arts Council on Instagram and all those places, you should. opportunities for artists. That's what we try to do. So
Also, the Ogden Arts grants are now live. I guess you can apply for
through
them.
December. What's the due date on that? Look it up.
13. I want to say 13.
Yeah, I mean you got a little time.
Yeah.
But it is live, and as somebody who has been on the what's it called? I don't know.
The granting committee.
Grant subcommittee. Yeah, for many years now. It's always good to see new applications.
There were some. I was on the. So there was a call today earlier that helped guide people through the process. If you're unfamiliar with it, and there was a lot more people than last year, which is good, and some names that I recognized and names I didn't, which is good. So it looks like people are going to be participating.
It also means things get a little bit more competitive, which is ultimately good. It's good for everybody. So apply. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yep, and then we'll take you out this week with a little van sessions. But before we do that, we should probably tell you that this episode here was recorded here at Banyan One, which is inside the Monarch building, and also thanks to Salt and Hops for providing a little beer for us here this evening. And go visit the store. Tell them Todd and Brad sent you from the Ogden Arts and Adventure Show. If you want to be on the show, DM me at Ogden Adventure or Sylvana. She just talked to me. She's just like, hey.
Swing by. Brandon's here a lot.
Yeah, which is great. If you found value in this podcast, you can supporting us by giving us all of your money at Buy Me a
Maybe
Coffee.
it's percentage. I mean,
or a percentage, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Or right now, all of your Bitcoin, because apparently that's going through the roof. buymeacoffee.com/Banyan Media. We will leave you with an outdoor jukebox. This is, this was fun. We had Magenta Wave. We did it not here at the Monarch building. We went down to the UTOG. Our
we had
sponsor.
proof that it happened. It was such a fun night.
Oh, it was so. And then Scott just messaged during the podcast and said, because I messaged him, I said, Scott, your edit is so good, because I forgot how windy it was. It was so windy.
It was a windy,
and you can't hear the wind. And so he just messaged me during the podcast. He said, I should have added a lot more wind on your edit, because it just, he's like, it sounds like you're in a big hall or big room, but really we were outside and it was windy AF. Anyway, this is called.
Funny. He took too much wind away.
He took all the wind away, so you can't even tell. This is Tightrope. This band Magenta Wave is out of Seattle. This is as recorded on Van Sessions Live down at UTOG Brewing. We'll see you on the next Ogden Arts and Adventure Show.
Season change like the